Hello beautiful humans, my name is Taryn and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy day 10 of Bookmas. Holy shit. We made it to day 10. There are 2 more days of Bookmas. Can you hear my dogs drinking water? Today's video is going to be my favorite books of 2023. I was going through my Goodreads and just seeing, you know, what books I read in 2023 because I read 187 books, I think is now the count this year. And I shit you not, I was looking through these books. I would have sworn that I read these books last year. It has been a long year. I will say most of these books are in a series and kind of sorry for it, kind of not. Read series. It's just like, that's when you just get absolutely attached to books, is when you can continue to read about the same characters over and over and over and over and over again. You know? So a lot of these are series and we're just gonna roll with that. Okay? So I guess let's just get those out of the way. First we have, and it's insane to me that I read this entire series this year. Like, and that she was introduced to me this year. I feel like I have read this author my entire life, but that is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. My Boss Has Heartless, which is literally my favorite one. So I am waiting for that one still. Are these in the right order? Absolutely not.
Flawless, Heartless, Powers. Okay.
This is the order, and then pretend there's another one right here. I love this series. I love this woman for writing this series. Everything about this is perfect, beautiful, amazing, gorgeous, perfect. They are cowboy romances, kind of. This one is kind of a hockey romance. It's all, though, set on a ranch. How do you just... We have romance, we have family, we have found family, we have small town, we have spicy, we have gentlemen, we have crazy and funny and wonderful female main characters. Like, you have it all in this series. This series is everything. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I will say first book, 4 stars for me. Maybe a 4.25, I don't really remember. The middle 3, so Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, all 5 stars. And beyond, honestly. Reckless, and Hopeless, the last one, I gave a 4 star as well. But the series as a whole, 5 stars. Perfect, amazing, beautiful, perfect. Another series we have that I just could not believe I only started this year is the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. I listened to the first 2. As soon as I finished them, I went out and I bought them because I needed the trophies of listening to the audiobooks because they were perfection. Oh my god, I finished the first one, automatically had to jump into the second one. I cried the end of the first book. I sobbed probably the entire second book. The third book, it could have been a little better. I won't lie, it could have been a little better. It's still 5 stars, but I wanted more. I could read about these characters until the day I die and be okay. Like, they're amazing. It's YA fantasy, I would say, definitely fantasy. You follow, like, it's not like, how does one explain these books? You're following Evangeline and Jax is known to be the prince that if he kisses anyone, they die. And Evangeline is dead set on just like finding the love of her life. And they become weird friends and you just follow along with their story. Jax is probably one of my favorite characters ever. He also is in the Caraval series, which you don't really need to read before you read this one, but he did become my favorite because of that series, and then you just get to read more about him here, and it is so lovely. It's so lovely. The way that Stephanie writes is amazing. She literally immerses you in the world. Like, you feel like you are in this book, especially with the audio. I highly, highly, highly recommend the audio. They are everything. Another series we have is the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. These are all sports romances. We have hockey, basketball, baseball. They are all wonderful. I like fell in love with Liz's writing. I will read her grocery list. I will read a list of things that she wants to throw away. Like, I love this woman because of these books. I can't wait to read. I believe there's 5 books in the series, and I cannot wait to read every single one of them, and then every single book after it. They're so good, and they're like kind of chunky romances, but you honestly, like, you want more from them. They are so they're so amazing. They are, I will say, what are they called? Like standalone, so you don't have to read one to read the other, but do it. Read them all. Don't do that to yourself. Don't deprive yourself of not reading one of these books. Do it. Hello? Read them. Read them all. Thank you. Another series, I've just made my life mission to make every single person that I ever meet read this series, and that is the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Okay, I grew up watching Criminal Minds. I have probably watched every single season at least 52 times, okay? And I love reading like thrillers and mysteries and being like, oh my gosh, I know which way this is going. I know what's gonna happen. I knew it. Like, when I get to the end, I'm like, I knew it. This series, YA mystery thriller, I didn't know shit. I knew nothing. I did not guess okay, that's probably a lie. I probably guessed like 1 or 2 things. I remember messaging my best friend because we buddy read this entire series and being like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? What? How? When? Who? What? When? Where? Why? It was... So this is very Criminal Minds, but all teenagers. Think of 5 little Spencer Reeds, okay? They are all super smart in their own way. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it ended perfectly, but I also think that, and I hope and pray every single day, that it's also set up to where she can continue the series, because that would make my entire life if she just continued writing the series. So yeah, anyway, if you read anything from this entire video, it's this. And then the last series that I have is the Magnolia Park series. I would show you all 4 books, but I haven't read the last one yet because I'm terrified to finish it. Disclaimer, only read these if you like toxic romance. If you like Chuck and Blair from Gossip Girl, then you are going to love this. If you don't like that, don't pick up these books. Every single time I read a bad review about it, it's because they don't like toxic love. That's this series. So again, I don't want to read a bad review about it. I don't. Okay? You can't hate this if you like toxic love. If you do, listen, these will break your heart. They will break your heart into 1,000,001 pieces. And I'm not going to tell you that they put it back together. I actually refuse to tell you that, because that's why I refuse to read the 4th one, because my heart is still completely shattered. And that's just where we're at. They are amazing. They're amazing in the most heartbreaking way. So here we are. Oh, and also going off of this, it took me about 2 or 3 chapters when I first started reading Magnolia Parks to understand how it was written. And after those like 3 chapters, then I was absolutely obsessed with how it's written, because it's literally like you are in their brains. So even when they have a when they're having side conversations in their head, like, you know, you like get into a fight and then you have a side conversation in your head, like, well, I could have done better. You have that conversation. So it's like you are thrown into their heads. And I just want you to keep that in your mind. And then, can you absolutely believe that I started off my year by reading Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas? Can you believe that I started my year off with this absolute torture hellscape of a book? This might honestly be why I only have however many books I have here. Because this, I needed, honestly, the year to get over what happened in this book. This is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. God, this book ripped my soul out of my body. My soul, my heart, my stomach. It ripped, everything was ripped up. It was put back together. It was put back together at the end. The end. If you have not picked up a Sarah J. Maas book, please, 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 please pick up a book. I would say start with ACOTAR, then Throne of Glass, then Crescent City. But wow. Wow. Okay, now we have like standalone series. Like, do they really go together? Yeah, kind of, but like not necessary to read the others, if that made any sense. We have Lotus and Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. Jennifer Hartman? I think her goal in life is to break your heart. It must be. It must be, because she wrote these two books. Still Beating is a very, 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 very dark romance, so please check trigger warnings. Some of the things that these characters go through gave me nightmares, made me want to puke. Like, this was a hard book to read. A hard book to read. But the love that these characters have for each other, whew, amazing. And then this is a side character from this, kind of. Again, not necessary to read this before this or this before this. Not necessary at all. Lotus is, I wouldn't say as dark by any means, but again, the love these characters have for each other, it's like, I would say best friends to lovers. Like, best friends to not seeing each other to lovers. Ugh. The amount of times that I cried from how much these characters felt for each other was a ridiculous amount. It was a ridiculous amount. Highly, 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 highly recommend. And then moving on to a much lighter note, book-wise, we have Practice Makes Perfect and When in Rome by Sarah Adams. When in Rome is technically first, and then you go to Practice Makes Perfect. Practice Makes Perfect. You're reading about like his sibling, her bodyguard. Anyway, they're both set small town, closed door romance, super, 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 super freaking cute and amazing. Like, I don't normally rate closed door romances 5 stars, just because I feel like you don't, this is weird, but you don't feel as much of the love between the characters when you're not like getting it, or when that sounded terrible. When you're not reading about them having sex, then you just like don't feel the love. That's stupid, Taryn. But you really feel the love in these characters. You feel the angst between them. You feel, oh my god, the banter is amazing. The angst, the just like, I need to love you, you know, like that is, you get it all. You get it all, and they're amazing. And cute. Oh my god. And 2 other romances. Just, Abby Jimenez became my favorite author this year. One of my favorite authors this year. We have Yours Truly and Part of Your World. Diego just got home. My dogs are about to start barking. The way Abby writes about topics that are hard to write about, but she does it in such a perfect way I don't know how to explain them. Something about both of these books gives Grey's Anatomy vibes, but in like the kind of smallest amount of way. Like they're just doctors. They're just doctors. So, and they're in love and they're amazing. So it's giving Grey's Anatomy, but very much not really at all at the same time. How do I talk about the most perfect romances I've ever read? Abby is also queen of writing not just the perfect book boyfriends, but book girlfriends as well. Like, I feel like a lot of romances, we look for the man to be like the knight in shining armor, you know, like the guy who does it all, like the swoon-worthy guy. And Abby writes women that do the exact same thing. Jacob in Yours Truly suffers with really, really, really bad social anxiety, and the way that Brianna does things for him made my entire year. Like, just reading about them made my entire year. I loved it so much. And even Alexis in Part of Your World, like the things that she does, just, it made me swoon for a woman. Okay? That's so good. And then I only have 2 thrillers to talk about. This being my camera is really pissing me off. Actually, this lighting is really pissing me off, but I don't know how to, we're gonna deal with it, right? Okay, my first thriller is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I listened to this on audio. I listen to all of my thrillers on audio and highly recommend. This felt like a true crime podcast, the way that it was written and the way that it was read, like the way that the narrator read it felt like a true crime podcast. I think that I listened to it in like 2 days because I couldn't put it down. I could not stop listening to it. I had to finish it. I had to know what was going on. It does talk about cults, and I find just that topic in general very, very, very interesting. So I don't know if that's why I absolutely loved it, but I did love it. I loved it so much. And then the other book I don't have the trophy for, but I did listen to it on audio, and that is One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. That book was everything to me. Again, I might have listened to that one in a day because I needed to know what was going on. Think like Southern rich woman drama. That is what that was. And I am not a girl who likes to watch like reality TV in any way, shape, or form, but listening to it on audio, like from a book, everything, oh my god, I was eating it up. I needed to know what was going on. I needed to know what happened. I needed to know, and the end, like what happened, I'm still just kind of like, and it's wild because like, you know damn well that shit happens in real life if you've read that book, and that's insane and disgusting, and I ate it up. I loved it. I loved it so much. So those were all of my top reads of 2023. I still have like 15 books that I need to finish before the end of December to reach my goal. 13 books to finish to reach my goal by the end of 2023. And if any of those are my absolute favorite, then you're just gonna have to watch my January recap to see if any of them should have been put on this list. I hope you have an amazing day, night, week, month, and year. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We only have 2 more days left of Bookmas. I can't believe Christmas is literally in a week. Today's Monday. That's why I'm saying that. It's a week from now. That's insane. Leave a comment down below telling me your top 3 books from 2023 so that I can put them on my TBR for next year. Like, gotta get through them. Gotta read them. If y'all love them, I gotta read them, you know? I love ya. Goodbye, beautiful humans.